In today's video, we are making the first thing we're going to do is make the ghost. So if we screw up the mechanism, at least we'll have a ghost, right? We're going to need a head. You can use something like that or one of those foam skulls like this one, but I have another project for this guy. So some noodles for the body. If you can find them white, it's better because that color doesn't show through, but any color will do. Some fishing line. This is 50 pound, which is a little bit overkill, but it's not going to hurt. You can also use 12 pound if you want it. And some of this creepy cloth. There's a link for this below. This is something huge. It's like 480 inches or 410 inches by 80. So this should make plenty of ghosts. Or if it's too see-through, you can double it up and it'll be nice and opaque. The first thing I did to get this right is I measured like my shoulders, my forearms, my arms, my neck, my head. Just to get an idea what the proportions are. Now this head is way smaller than me, so I did the measurements. I measured myself and then took 10% off. My shoulders, both sides including the neck, is 39 centimeters, so mark it. For the head, I don't need this flange, so I'm going to cut this here. Perfect. Now if you want to add hands, you can add hands. I am not, but I gotta make up for the length of a hand if I used one, right? And we need 2 of these. There we go. That's all we need. Next, if we arrange this, so head, shoulders, arms, and forearms. Okay, so let's measure this, and this is to see how much fishing line we need. So starting at the top, let's give an extra couple inches. So down to the middle, 20, that's 50, 75. I measured this and it's about 40 inches from the neck all the way down to the hands. So times 2 is 80 inches there, and then this is a foot. So that is 92 inches. So let's go ahead and cut like 100 inches of fishing line. I just doubled it to 120, so 120 inches, and we'll just deal with the extra. We just cut it off. And you can use the thinner stuff for the body, but I want this to be a durable ghost, and you'll hear me say this over the video. I'm going to build this a little bit more robust so it has more longevity season after season. Now we're going to fold this guy in half. There you go. Now once we get here, this is how we're going to hang the ghost. So I'm going to make a knot, just maybe doubled it for strength. There you go. Can you guys see that? Now I gotta thread it through this head. I'm gonna use this garden stake, just a piece of metal. There you go. And I'm using a piece of wire to fish it through the head. Just gotta find that loop we made. There you go. Now one thing we can do so we don't lose this is add a clamp. So I have a few clamps here. I'm going to clamp this in such a way that it will not go through the head. If we pull on it, it should stop. See? Okay. One more thing, we gotta find the middle of the shoulders so that we can put the nylon through. And we can poke a hole with this same thing. So now I'm gonna take both, I'm gonna fish both through one side just because that was a pain to do. So it's easier to fish once they're inside of the noodle. You see that I'm just pulling the nylon through the noodle. This through. All right. That now both arms are on one side, so I'm going to take one of these and fish it to the other side with the easier way now. And now we have one arm on each side. Now the arms are the two shorter ones because these guys include hands. So one in each side, and let's do the other one. Same thing. So the rest of the process is pretty much the same. So I'm going to speed up the video here. Once we get to this step, we're going to stop and set it aside for a minute. We're going to cut the creepy cloth next. For the fabric, I'm going to cut two pieces, right? One is horizontal and one will be vertical. So measure from the end of the hands plus a little hang, right? So that measurement, that, go around the head, around like that, and there. And that one will be this piece. So this piece goes across and it probably hangs a little bit low right here, somewhere. And then a vertical piece, and we're going to probably cut a slot on this one, put it over like a poncho, and that one is going to be vertical, going from front to back. So after like a ton of time of measuring and folding and cutting, I ended up with this. This is about 120 inches across, and then the 80 of the width of the original fabric, right? And I doubled it because this is a very fine see-through thing. After a while, I was able to determine the middle, and that's there. Now, I'm gonna, this is where I mark the X, marks the spot. This is where I'm putting the fishing line through. I'm gonna put a clip here, make sure that we don't lose this guy. Let's do the same on this side. So this goes with this. And we won't fix this until we have it hanging up, but then we can, at that point, like glue up here, we can glue on the shoulders, and then we can glue on the elbows and wrists. Let's go hang this guy and get it all draped correctly. Right now I'm just evening the distance, which it should be even because the middle was here. But here's where you decide how much you want it to drape or not drape. The next piece I'm going to do is get the vertical piece of fabric, and it's going to go over and around the front, and it'll give the ghost a little bit more body. Now I'm not going to hang it like this. I'm going to hang it with the hands moving a little bit forward, so it has a little bit of not only width and height, but also some depth, and it looks more 3D rather than a flat ghost. I realized at first sight this seemed like really long forearms, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend this down like a hand, and it's going to hang from here, not from the end. I'm going to cut a slit on this and just bend it and just leave it like that and hang it from that part. Right. Now for the hands, I want them to bend over like you're being all spooky and scary. So I'm just going to cut a V here, and then we're going to bend these over. String, and we can bend the hand. And we're going to thread it through the wrist. So I'm going to go through the wrist and out here. That way the hand stays like this all the time because the string's coming up this way. This out. Alright, so now then we can bend this as a hand. Here you can use a heat gun or glue. Just make sure your glue doesn't melt the foam. And we're going to bend it like this, and it'll hang like this. And hanging it from this part would prevent it from twisting around, so the hand always aims down. I'm going to do the same to this arm, so I won't bore you with it. This ghost as far as the ghost goes, is complete. So now that I like the placement of everything, I'm going to put a dab of glue right here. So I'm going to put a drop of glue here, and then I'll make a loop from where to hang the ghost next. For the animation of the ghost, we will need, the most basic things are the motor, right? So I like this one. This is a cup turner motor. There's a link below. It rotates very slowly. And then it comes with this, which you can plug into the wall, and don't worry about batteries or adapters or anything. So that's the motor. It will also come with a sleeve like this one that goes on the shaft, right? And then it has a hole that goes through, and you can put a bolt through that hole like this to secure it so that it's really well mounted. Now, I like this one. Like I said, I want this ghost to be durable over the seasons. So that's why I picked this motor in particular. These guys are designed to run for hours, turning one of those resin cups. I think I did a video tutorial about it. And then attaching it with the screw through, it makes sure that this part is strong. So then comes the weak link, which is the arm. So the arm is going to be up to you, but you can use many things. You could use well, this would go here. So I'll show you when I assemble it. Then you put it through here, put a screw through there, and then there's the arm, right? You can do a popsicle stick. I do not recommend it. This will break and stress out after just a little while. Besides, this has to lift the weight of those two arms on the ghost. Keep in mind that if you want the hands to move up about a foot, then this pulley needs to be 6 inches. I found this little piece of wood, so I'm going to mount this piece there, and for 2 reasons. One, it gives us a thicker depth for the screws to go in, and it also allows for the cable to come down without getting it pinched. That's almost dry, and I marked where the holes go, and they correspond to the holes in the motor. So let's mount it. I'm going to drill some pilot holes first. This is solid, it's not going anywhere. So now, let's talk about this guy. This is the most important part. So this provides the torque, and this little brass fitting, it's going to keep, by putting the bolt across, will keep this thing from spinning or getting loose. Now the other piece will be the shaft, which I'll show you in a minute. But first I wanted to show you, this part goes at the end of the shaft, and this part is important. You get a washer, maybe something like this steel one, right? And drill 2 holes, and then I put some split rings in there, and that will go at the other end of the shaft. For the shaft, I'm using this old license plate. So I marked a strip. I'm gonna cut it through here, and I had already drilled a hole, and I'll show you how that works. Right, it's a little soft, but I think it will do for now. What I figured is I'm going to put the screw through there, then bend it over and put the screw through here, and that would secure this really well, because then it has no chance of spinning since it's anchored by this. So you take this out. I added a little nut here so that we can tighten it and squeeze the shaft against this thing. All right, and the next step is to bend it exactly over. That's perfect right there. Now we just need to find out where that hole is. Drill the hole and put the screw to secure it in place. Now while it's loose, this is overkill, but your prop will last a long time. Now we add this part, and you have to make sure that this clears this. I found this much shorter screw, so we'll use this one. made the hole bigger, so now we're going to put this screw through here all the way, just like that. That is perfect. Now we need the spacer. This is not necessary, but I like to keep this as high as possible. Then we have this, then this, and now we're going to put one of these nylon locking nuts here. We can bring this nut further down as long as it doesn't, block any of this. And this is the mechanism. So the last thing we have to do here is this plugs on the wall, so there's no polarity concerns. You can plug it to either one of the two sides. And I push the button and push it as far as you can go. And that also prevents any exposed metal right here. There you go. Let's test this. I'm going to plug this and we'll see if our motor runs. I think this works really well. There you go. It works perfectly. We're going to mount this on the ceiling and we'll attach the ghost in the next step. Oh man, my wife is gonna love me. That was sarcasm. So check this out. The base goes there, 3 drywall screws, then clear across is where the arms are. So that's the setup. Head, right arm, left arm, motor goes down and gets plugged to an extension cord. Now let's see how she works, and then I'll show you fully lit up. And this is the final product. Let's set it all up now.